The Fellow ODE is a great brew grinder for the price. However, one of the biggest complaints is that the grind adjustment is stepped, or at least it is out of the box. My ODE on this table is actually stepless. And that's exactly what I'm going to be showing you how to do today. How to go from this to this. Now, this modification is very straightforward and it's actually not permanent. You can put it back at any time. However, as with any mod or any time you go inside a product, do so at your own risk. I cannot take responsibility for anything that might go wrong. All right, with that out of the way, let's jump into the process. The first step is obviously to unplug your grinder and then simply click off the front faceplate. Don't be afraid to use a little force. It can be a little bit stiff. Next, we're going to remove the 4 screws located at 3, 6, 9, and 12 o'clock. Ignore the deeper screws. You don't need to touch those for this particular process. Once the 4 screws are out, the knob will come right off. Once inside, we're going to also remove this center screw, which will release the gear responsible for grind adjustment. Just a heads up, there is some grease on the inside of this gear, so be careful which way you put it down on your table. In behind this gear is what we're after, a tiny pin that's responsible for the grind steps and clicks. This pin will pull right out along with the spring behind it, and Bob's your uncle, your ODE is now stepless. Now at this point, you are basically done the process. You could go ahead and reassemble your grinder and enjoy your stepless grind adjustment. However, people who do this mod often report that the grind adjustment will start to drift a little bit with that pin removed. If that happens, don't worry, there's a very simple fix, and that is to add some Teflon tape to the inner gear. If you don't have any Teflon tape or you don't know what it is, I will leave some linked down in the description below. It is very, very cheap. Adding the tape is as simple as unscrewing the inner bolt clockwise and adding a thin layer. Make sure that everything is still aligned inside the hole before screwing the bolt back in, and go slowly so that you can stop as soon as you feel the burrs touching. Next, we'll reattach the gear and double check the zeroing of the grind setting by switching on the grinder and turning counterclockwise until you hear a quiet chirping. This is where 0 should be on the grind dial when you reinstall it. After that, simply slide the dial back in, retighten the 4 screws, and snap the faceplate back on. And just like that, your Fellow ODE is now a stepless grinder. If you've enjoyed this video, please leave it a like, and even consider subscribing if you want to see some more like it in the future. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.